Alright, coming up on a TCC Telecrawler 1400 link built. Little baby crane. Don't get to run these very often, so they're pretty fun to run, especially if you don't run them all the time. Engine oil's okay. Sufficient. We call that 3/4. Just look in here, make sure nothing's leaking. Nothing looks crazy, out of place. Try to remember everything that's on here. Cool thing about these little guys is you ain't got a bunch of boot lattices, lacings and shit to look at, pennants, cables. It's just a fucking telescopic boom. Look at your cables. We'll get to the other side and do all that. And then your battery box over here. Make sure the battery's on. Get your hours for your crane report. Forgot to show you coolant level right here. It's where your radiator fluid goes. There's a little cap up top here. You put it in, open this, and put it all in there. Then you got your hydraulic tank. Make sure it's in a decent area for you to run it. And then if it's not, this is the DEF tank. But if it's not, you just open this cap and fill it up. DEF tank. Fuel tank. But you come over here, down here, make sure everything looks good. This belt for your telescopic boom, cables. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Like these don't have a boom fall cable. They just have a piston that goes up and down, extends and retracts, just like the boom does, so it gets longer. But we're at the boss man's house today doing a bulkhead. Little baby boy work. It's fun to do it every now and then. When you're used to building bridges and piers and shit, like big piers. I'm gonna put the little boat in the water so the guys got somewhere to go. I'm gonna drive these sheets. These little plastic sheet pile we'll be driving today. Even up the vibratory hammer, that right there, what do they call it, a stabilizer or whatever, it just takes some of the vibration out of the crane that comes from the hammer. I think they call it a stabilizer. I don't know, it's just a piece of rubber. So your sensors and everything in the boom doesn't shake like crazy. Whenever you're picking up something heavy, and I mean this isn't heavy, but to the crane it's heavy, you always want to boom up just a little bit once you get the weight, because it'll essentially flex the boom and kind of boom you down a little bit. Relative. You're not actually booming down, but the boom flexing. You need to get over top of the load. What you see there are safety chokers. They'll hook that probably up to the sheet. I'm guessing we're going for that feeder sheet, the little steel sheet with a jet on it, and a little contraption on top, a little clamp. I'm guessing we'll go for that, and they'll put those safety shackles, safety chokers on there. Like I said, I've never really driven plastic sheets before, so this is a learning experience for myself. And it can't be so much different than regular sheets. So he called it's a follower. So they'll use that to drive the sheet itself where it needs to go, so that they don't tear the sheet up, the top of the plastic sheet up with that vibratory hammer. I'd imagine they had problems with that at the beginning of the job and came up with a solution to not tear the tops of the sheets up, and that was the solution. Looks like you can put a jet on it, and maybe they will, and it'll use water to kind of move the material on the bottom out of the way, so the sheet will drive easier. So what that looks like will be this. And my cheese, 7 little buddy cheese. So you'll with the hammer with the safety chokers, you'll stand this sheet up. Main thing is watch out for the hoses, make sure you're not going to get caught up on anything. And then as you're standing up, always boom up. You can kind of tell what you're doing to everything, like you don't want to force that float into anything. And then as you're coming up towards your toe, boom out a little bit more, again, just so it don't come flying towards you. A little bit difficult to tell where everything's at with this, because you don't have like a block to tell you or anything. You just kind of hang from those chokers off it. So they tell you a little bit. And come on up. Make sure you're up above everything. You're not going to be able to see this, apart. So, and you want to cable up as much, get as much hoses as you can, so you're not fighting the hoses and the hammer, because the hoses, in essence, those hoses are going to tell the hammer which way to spin. And so the more hoses you got, the more power you got to tell that hammer what to do. And they want to lean it like that, so you kind of tap it on there to help it spin. I don't know exactly what they want. You want to open it? How you want it? You want to open it to me, or how you want this thing?
Just like that. And you'll lean against it. Keep the toe out by a foot or two. It should stay. Or should stay. Should stay. All that. Let me get a shot of boom out. Maybe twist that thing around. Try to have open it.
So, okay. See, its explanation is everything. So you spin it like that. What he's talking about.
Want any boom down, hold low.
Then you just kind of take the hammer to make it. What he's talking about is you boom down a little bit, and the hammer will pull that sheet over and kind of stabilize it against that other sheet, like that. Might need a little more. I can't see it, but he'll let me know when it's good.
Okay, start working down.
And you just come on, guys.
Banner has element his hot edge.
See how we got hose around the time to get the hammer ready to be. So I might see this. You put the hammer on the tippy top. Only about now you can't quite see exactly where you need to be. But get the hammer close. I'll put it right now. Alright, now we'll take this thing and lay it back down. Definitely a slow process. Again, you want to get all your hoses up as far as you can, run it all the way up to the top, get it back on the barge. And hopefully it'll spin around the right way and not put a kink in the hose as you come down. And then you just kind of use the hoses to force the hammer around the way you want it to as you come down, just like that. Like he's not pulling it, he's just kind of guiding it. You get him over here, this way you can move back down to where the Tony's go. So the open end is going the way you want it to, so you put the other sheet in there if you need it. That's all, these little fuckers are so damn herky-jerky. Alright, we're pulling out this follower sheet. I would call it a lead sheet, but they're calling it a follower sheet. So we'll call it a follower sheet, pulling it out away from the other one. And once it's out, I imagine we'll unhook from it and go get another sheet to feed into it and do another sheet. Be my guess. Try to find wherever you can see that little cut out in the box, in the power pack, is all you get. And you still can't see exactly where can't really see where he's trying to thread that sheet. Try to keep that sheet as straight as you can as you're coming down so it don't get bound up. Like I say, it's plastic. I know with your steel sheets, you always want to try to keep it from doing what it's doing right now when you tell me to boom down. You must not do that, it'll break the interlock, I would imagine, on these little plastic sheets and all that weight. But kind of got to listen to the man on the radio, you can't really see what he's looking at. And see, the main thing you want to watch out for here, like I said, those hoses, you got a hammer once they spun like that. You kind of got to mess with it a little bit with the boom. You got to boom up and down against those hoses to get the hammer to spin so those chokers ain't in the way. And it's going to be very difficult. Because like I say, I can't see. And you need it, what you really want is those hoses right there in front of that sheet so that as you come down, the hoses draw the hammer towards it. But once they open up the jaws, we'll get on it. You can kind of force the hammer however which way you want to with the jaws. See how you pull on that choker and it tries to spin the hammer, but it just quite won't. What I might do is boom down, but the hose is on the other side. I don't know if they'll allow it. Which way you want the hoses? You want it towards me or away from me? So yeah, they're kind of screwed right now, but we can figure it out. They'll put a rope on it and fix it. Cool thing about these little guys, you can crawl with stuff. Compared to like a cherry picker where they pick and carry and it's different, you got to come off the outriggers and everything. This just pick it up and crawl. That's kind of a neat thing about telecrawlers. Little bit of cranes can be fun at times, you know. Especially when you don't do it all day every day. Used to doing heavy stuff that you got to take your time with and go slow and all. But this you kind of rock and roll a little bit. And now we're going to pick up that follow beam. You want to make sure you take your time, make sure your weights are right. Don't put too much weight on that sheet. Keep it good and plumb. Just cable down slow. It's faster that way. The way you're not picking up. Try to go too fast, you either pull it out of the interlock, or you'll get it out of plumb. You got to pull it back up, try to drop it again. Got to hold it you already made. So just go slow. It ends up being faster in the long run. Way to pay attention to that, to not put too much weight on that sheet and the airlock itself, especially with this kind of setup where you got a lot of weight trying to rip that plastic out. Watch your weight. Watch your weight. Don't make sure you're not losing too much weight because I can probably imagine that's most of that weight is all the hammer in that follower. Not sheet. I think she might weigh 500-600 pounds. And again, just watch your weight because as you lose and gain weight, you're essentially booming the crane up and down, which changes the plumb of the pile all over the place. So if you keep a steady weight, you're good. You know, you'll get that power where it needs to be. If you go trying to get it out real fast, just drive it real fast, you'll lose too much weight, which will boom the crane up. Essentially, relative. And you'll get the pile out plumb. And you want to keep that to where it needs to be so the rest of the pile follows up. Just a couple of tricks for anybody who's never done it before. You know, it's a good practice to have. Is being able to drive sheet pile. In my world, we do a lot of that. Cofferdams, retention walls, things like that. This is literally my first bulkhead I've ever done. Like I said, at Boss Man's house. Doing a little bit of side work while waiting on another project to fire off. So, nice cheats, pretty neat, something different. Alright, so yeah, we're going to set this sheet back on that sheet and unhook the hammer so that we can go get another sheet. A very slow process, in my opinion. I would do it a little bit different. I would drive the sheet down so you can just unhook the hammer and then go grab another sheet. But you can't do that because you can't feed another sheet into it. Do that. It's aggravating those hoses. Like, they need to have those hoses up on deck, not in the water. That way the hammer spins the way you want it to spin. But not my show. I'm just here to facilitate the crane. And once I get in a decent spot, I'll try to spin this thing. If the hoses will let me. So you kind of get that corner on it, and then hope it catches. And
Back up, back up. I'll swing out to your right a little bit so you can spin back around. Right, moving up. Right, moving up. That's pretty good left. You're moving down. Right, left, great. Great, come up.
once you get the toe in the right place, you can't really see where they want it. So you just kind of put it where they want it. Hopefully, we'd love to get in the way. And you put it down where they want it, and then lay it on down. The hammer will tell it where to go, essentially. So you just get the hammer going in the right direction, watch the hoses, make sure you're not going to cut them, because that turns into a long day when you cut them, then you got to replace them. And you just kind of let the hammer tell that pile where to go as you lay it down. And pretty simple to lay it down, just cable down, swing right. Just a boom every now and then as you need it. Sometimes you don't really need to do anything. In this case, they're pretty close. It'll tell you once you get close enough. What sucks is they got to fight these hoses and like doing it like this. You really, there's nothing you can do. Pretty hamstringed on what you can do for them with the hoses. He really wants boom down. And that's the first time of the process. It's definitely different.